A glance at a map of the world showing the spread of COVID-19 reveals how uneven is its bite. Newspapers lead with stories of extreme dislocation and despair as different countries struggle with the enormity of lockdown in all its manifestations of inequality and immiseration. Viruses are indiscriminate in their choice of host, but humans are rather precise in their forms of discrimination and exclusion. This has been dramatically revealed by the impact of lockdowns. The United Nations World Food Programme is warning of a global humanitarian catastrophe where up to 500 million people could be pushed into poverty, reversing the gains of the last 30 years of economic development. Here in the UK, it has been estimated that 20% of children have been unable to access enough to eat during lockdown, and there's been a record increase of 81% in the use of food banks compared to the same period last year. The situation is much graver in other parts of the world. In India and Pakistan, for example, large sections of the population are being forced to choose between hunger and disease. Precarious living conditions do not permit the quarantining of livelihoods. This brutal situation may be revelatory, but it is not new. Lockdown, as a number of commentators have already remarked, has revealed the pre-existing state of effective isolation and quarantine of the most vulnerable communities and citizens around the world. In the UK and the United States, official statistics show that those infected with COVID-19 in the most deprived communities are more likely to die. Poor public health means poverty, digital exclusion, toxicity, low wages, and overcrowding. Such communities are cut off from the resources they need to overcome these challenges. They do not have access to digital resources and devices. They cannot work from home. They are in a longer-term structural quarantine. As societies begin to emerge from lockdown, we need now to reinstate the real purpose of an economy, which is to provide quality of life and opportunities to flourish for all. But with millions across the world losing their jobs or seeing their incomes fall, it's apparent that the spectacular inequalities of the 21st century are becoming a widening chasm. Even in the richest countries in the world, it's becoming evident that government schemes to protect people and livelihoods are about to come to an abrupt halt, and joblessness will soar even as lockdown ends. Many businesses will simply not come back. On April the 27th, 100 politicians in the UK signed a letter asking the government to institute a temporary universal basic income as a way to support individuals through this second inevitable crisis. No amount was specified, but a common understanding seemed to suggest that it would be around $62 per week. Other countries, like Ireland, Australia, Sweden, are also making payments to try and support vulnerable workers. Yet these temporary solutions, while essential for the basic necessities of food, shelter, and human dignity, are not the way out or forward from the COVID crisis. They are governments responding to need by shoring up outdated versions of the economy. Much more imaginative and innovative solutions are necessary when we look at what the COVID crisis has revealed about work. Economies are changing. It's not just that the crisis has made people jobless, but that the market for a low-skilled service economy has shrunk almost overnight. The much vaunted full employment through precarious zero-hours contracts and the gig economy was never going to be sustainable long-term, but now digital working has taken a new turn. Supply chains based on humans interacting with each other and handling products will be increasingly replaced by robotic automation and artificial intelligence, where production can be matched exactly to scale and need, and unlike humans, shut down rapidly in the face of the next pandemic and just as easily rebooted when it is over. Some businesses will be able to replace humans without impacting their profits, and governments won't have to pay. Instead of short-term cash, we need long-term investment in people and their capabilities, capacities, and assets, including social solidarity. In the IGP, we have proposed treating food, housing, transport, childcare, social care and access to digital resources in the same way as education and health. These services will be provided free to those who need them. They would be universal basic services. Such provision would not only reduce the cost of living for those in need, but invest in their quality of life and resilience, and in that of those who provide these services. Now is the time to consider universal basic services not just as a transformative and economically feasible response to the crisis, but as the basis for a new social contract and the economy of the future. Please join the debate on the society we need and want for the future. Please go to seriouslydifferent.org, read about the work of the IGP, and send us your ideas. We do need your help in co-designing the future.